Hi, Algebra 1. We're going to go over those couple problems we had gone. So we wanted to see if each of the following represent a function, plot 2 points in the graph. Okay, so here's a question. As I come down here and I make dots, do any of those dots have the same x value repeated? The answer in this case is no. Okay, so they don't repeat there, but that means we have a function. So again, if I were to come down this and look at the dots, do any of the x values, the x values are going right and left, do they repeat? If not, it's a function. We take a look at this one. If I do this and I come straight down here and I draw another, look at that. I have 2 points that share the same x value. So this is not a function. So this is called the vertical line test. We'll call it VLT. Vertical line test didn't pass. So it's easy to see sometimes with a picture. For problem number 4, it seems fine as we're going all the way down this thing, except this is a vertical line. As soon as I have a vertical line in there, this is not a function. This did not pass the vertical line test. This has a whole bunch of x values that are the same. Think about this circle. If I picked a point on the circle and I drew a line straight down, that touches it twice, so this is not a function. It didn't pass the vertical line test. This is a vertical line. Any vertical line is not a function. So all the x values are the same there, so that's not a function. This one, I can put all these points all along here, which are great. So this is a function. This one, let's see, do I have any vertical lines? Comes up. Okay, all these x values are all different. All these x values are different. All these x values are different. Even a horizontal line has different x values. So this is a function. And then I have this oval or circle or whatever it is. Notice if I draw a vertical line, this is not a function. It did not pass the vertical line test. With the packet I have handed out to you now, it says at the top 3.1c, we're going to create a story. But before we create this story, what I want to do is I would like to draw in. I have a y-axis I'm going to draw in over here. I have an x-axis I'm going to draw in over here. Okay? And so let's talk about, we're going to call our x-axis, we'll call this time, and maybe we call it time in minutes. Okay? And then maybe we'll call the y-axis water. So we're kind of making up a little story. So I'm going to draw like a little picture. So let's change color. Change color to blue. Blue for the water. So I'm going to plot some points. Connect those. And then maybe draw some points here. And then maybe draw a steeper line here. And then maybe we'll just draw a line all the way down here. So let's label the points that we know. So we can go ahead and number the number line if not, or so I'm going to label this point 0, comma, I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's the point 0, 12. Let's count over here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to call this the point 4, comma, let's make that a darker, 4, comma, let's count straight up. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And maybe we'll call this point here, let's count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that came down one, so that's 11, 15. Let's label this point up here. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. So that's at 23. That came over one, so 12, 13, 14, 14, comma 23. And then this one down here is, it's got a 0 in the y direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so let's create a story. Let's say that that we have a bucket with a hole in it. Okay, and it's a little tiny hole. So we have a bucket and it has a little tiny hole in it. That little tiny hole is allowing water to drain out. Okay, and let's say this bucket is sitting out, and we had realized we had a hole in it, but at a point it started with, that was our starting point. So bucket with 12 12 liters of water. Okay, it might be a really big bucket because 12 liters is an awful lot. But let's say the bucket is sitting outside and it starts to rain. And it rains for a little bit. Then it stops raining. And then it rains a lot. And then it stops raining. And just drains out. Kind of a goofy story. So basically, do you understand the concept? There was already water in the bucket, like maybe we'd put some water in there, and it had a real slow leak in it. And then it rained a whole bunch, and then it stopped raining, and then it rained again, and then it stopped again. Okay, so that's kind of a silly little story. But notice I label all things. So I'm also going to highlight a few parts. I'm going to highlight here. I'm going to highlight here. So we're going to put a little line over here to mean something. But then it also, I'm going to put a line here and a line here. Okay, so the green is increasing. And the pink is decreasing the water. Okay, so we can clarify a lot of that information where it's increasing or decreasing, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's further down this. Let's move down. All right, so this one says the amount of water or amount of money in a savings account where regular deposits and some withdrawals were made. Okay, so we started with a certain amount of money. We increased what we had in there. We took out some money, put a little bit more, took out the same amount. Looks like we're putting in and taking out the same amount. And then all of a sudden we take out a whole bunch of money. Okay, and this could be money over here. This could be time. So that's basically what the story is talking about. Okay, let's just see. think that works fine. Okay, the temperature of an oven that the temperature of the oven on a day that mom baked several batches of cookies. Well, this could be the cookies as well. So let's change this one because I realize now what we're going to do. Okay, so the amount of money in a savings account, you put some money in, took some out, put some more in, took some more out, put some more in, took some more out. I think this goes along with one. I think this could be time and money. This one could be the cookies. So this could be the temperature and the cookies. And being that the oven heats up, cooks cookies, takes out some cookies, so it lowers the temperature, puts cookies in, goes back up in temperature. So that could definitely take place. So this one could go along with the cookies. The amount of gasoline on hand at the gas station before the tanker truck arrives. So this could be time. Okay, this next problem says the amount of gasoline on hand at the gas station before a tanker truck delivers. Okay, so think about a gas station. They're going to start with a certain amount of gas, like we said, and then it's going to kind of go down as it's decreasing. So this is definitely that one. Watermelons are delivered to a farmer's market every Saturday morning. The number of watermelons available for sale on a Thursday. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I think this could be work. So this could be, days, and this could be watermelons. So they're delivered. Huh. Maybe that's not the one. Maybe it's the one up above. Let's take a look at that one. Let's see if we have watermelons or day watermelons. So they deliver a certain amount, sell some, deliver a certain amount, sell some. Yeah, that could work. So it's kind of a goofier one. And let's see, did I miss any? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The amount of mileage recorded on a delivery truck over a period of time. Okay, so a delivery truck drives a certain distance, so miles, days maybe, or could be hours. It just depends. Doesn't really matter, but I think that would match up with the delivery truck. Okay, so what I want you to do, actually, we're going to take a look at number 6, and we're just going to do number 6 together. So this point right here is the point -10, and it goes up 1, 2, 3, -10, comma 4. And then I'm going to look at this point right there, and that looks like the point -3, comma 4. And then I'm going to take a look at this point right here, which is 2 in the right, and up 9. And then this point over here appears to be 5, 9, I believe. And then this last point down here is 10, -1. All right, so we want to talk about the domain. Okay, so the domain are the x values. So the x values I'm going to highlight in pink, okay? So x value, x value, x value, x value, x value. Okay, so what is the furthest left x value? Yeah, it's -10. What's the furthest right x value? That's also 10. Okay, there's a dot and there's a dot at each side, so it's going to be square brackets. Don't worry too much about the brackets now, but we're using square brackets because we have a solid dot at those. The range are the y values, so the 4, the 9, the 9, and the -1. Okay, so what's the smallest y value? Let's actually highlight these. We're going to do these in green. Okay, what's the smallest y value that we have? Yeah, it's -1. And what's my tallest, or my highest y value? That's 9. So again, we have dots at each of those, so my range is going to do that. Now we're going to talk about where it's increasing. So it's increasing where it's going up. So we talk about in the x direction. So this is where it's increasing right here. Okay. So it's going to be increasing from -3 to 2. Okay. And we could probably put square brackets there because those are dots. Where is it decreasing? Well, it's decreasing here. That's where it's going down. So you use the x to talk about it. So you talk about from 2 to 10. Where is it constant? That's constant in 2 spots. That's where it's a horizontal line. So it's constant from -10 to 2. And it's also, excuse me, -10 to -3. I'm sorry about that. I was looking at the other point. And then it's also, that's a -3. And then it's also constant from 2 to 5. Then it asks, what's the minimum value? Well, the minimum value is basically this point. Okay, it's the lowest point. The maximum, we have 2 different places that it takes place. It's at 2.9 and at 5.9. It's in between those. But that's basically how you would walk through this sheet. So what I'd like you to work on for the next couple of minutes and for tonight, and we'll go over tomorrow, is take care of 7 and 8 in this packet. Okay, so that should be, yeah, that's what I want you to do. So work on 7 and 8. See if you can figure it out. Make sure you label the points first. So label like, these points. Label the high points, low points, and oh, there's an arrow on the end of that, so that might mean something. Okay, there's an arrow at the end of that, so that means something as well. But label your points, high points, change of directions, low points, things like that. See if you can figure those out. Okay, don't worry about the brackets. Okay, have a nice day.